Princess Nava and the Wrath of the Wild. For years, Kerala had known peace. The once war-ravaged land flourished, its people thriving under the watchful eye of Princess Nava. She had grown, not just in years, but in wisdom, strength, and power. The burdens of rule rested upon her shoulders, but she bore them with the grace of a warrior queen. Yet, peace was never meant to last forever. The jungle, once alive with music, the rustling leaves, the chirping of crickets, the distant calls of unseen creatures, had fallen silent. It was a silence that spoke of something unnatural, something waiting in the darkness. And on one fateful night, the storm arrived. The guardian and the amulet. At the heart of the kingdom stood Princess Nava, warrior, protector, and keeper of the amulet. This ancient relic was no mere ornament. It pulsed with celestial power, linking her soul to Tiger Raja, her closest companion and fiercest ally. Their connection allowed them to communicate without words, their spirits intertwined by an unbreakable bond. But even the strongest magic had its limits. If dark forces tampered with its energy, their link would falter, leaving them vulnerable, separated in the heat of battle. Raja, a magnificent tiger with golden eyes that burned like embers, was unlike the creatures of the wild. No curse could taint him, no dark spell could twist his will. His essence, forged in celestial fire, made him a force beyond mortal understanding. Strapped to Nava's back were her twin blades, one crackling with lightning, the other aflame with golden fire. Weapons of divine origin. They could bend the elements to her command, but even they had limits. And tonight, she would test those limits like never before. The silence before the storm. Nava stood atop the palace ramparts, gripping the hilt of her fireblade. The jungle beyond the walls was unnervingly still, the air heavy with an unspoken warning. Beside her, Raja prowled, his muscles coiled, his golden eyes scanning the darkness. Something is wrong. His voice echoed through their bond, low and tense. Then it began. A foul wind swept through the trees, carrying the scent of decay. And then, thousands of eyes ignited in the darkness. From the depths of the jungle, an army of wild beasts emerged. Elephants, panthers, vipers, even birds, each moving as one, their bodies twisted and controlled by an unseen force. Their eyes glowed with a malevolent red light, their movements unnatural, as if they were mere puppets of some greater will. A shadowed figure stepped into view, his black robes flowing like liquid night. His ashen skin shimmered under the pale moonlight, and his golden eyes gleamed with cruel amusement. "I am Varunak," he said, his voice slithering like a serpent. "And I have come for the amulet." Tiger Raja's growl rumbled like distant thunder. Nava's grip on her blades tightened. Varunak raised a hand, and the possessed horde surged forward. A battle against the dark. The night exploded into chaos. Nava's twin blades flashed, fire and lightning carving through the first wave of attackers. Beasts shrieked and reared, but they did not stop. Raja leaped into the fray, his fangs sinking into corrupted flesh. Unlike Nava's weapons, his attacks were final. When his claws struck, the darkness did not return. But the horde was endless. The warriors of Kerala fought valiantly, their spears flashing under the moonlight. Yet for every corrupted beast that fell, 2 more took its place. Then it happened. A cold force gripped the amulet at Nava's chest, like unseen fingers curling around her throat. Her breath caught. The connection between her and Raja flickered. "Raja!" she called through the bond. His response was faint, distant, muffled by an unseen force. And without their link, their flawless coordination was shattered. Varunak chuckled darkly. "You cannot fight what you cannot understand," he taunted. "This jungle is no longer yours, princess. It is mine." A second wave of creatures emerged. larger, stronger, faster. For hours, Nava and Raja fought, her warriors pushing back with everything they had. But exhaustion crept in. The battle turned against them. Nava's arms ached, her twin blades growing heavier with each swing. Raja, too, was slowing, his movements less precise, his roars more labored. The palace walls trembled, the kingdom was on the verge of falling. And then, Raja made his move. Throwing his head back, he let out a roar. Not of rage, but of a call. A call that would be heard by only one, the return of the king of the jungle. Far beyond the battlefield, deep in the untouched wilderness, a lone tiger lifted his head. Arjun. Once a frail cub, abandoned and left to die, he had been saved by Nava and Raja. They had raised him, trained him, and, when the time came, set him free. Now, he was no longer a cub. He was a king in his own right, leading a mighty force of tigers and wolves. When Raja's call reached him, Arjun's ears flicked. His golden eyes gleamed in the dark. The jungle calls for war. With a thunderous roar, he led his army into the night. The battle turns. At the palace gates, Nava and Raja were barely holding on. Then, from the jungle's edge, a new sound split the night. Hundreds of tigers and wolves charged onto the battlefield, their eyes burning with fury. They crashed into the enemy lines, claws and fangs tearing through the possessed beasts. For the first time, the tide turned. Raja fought with renewed strength, his claws sinking into shadowed flesh. Arjun leaped onto the back of a corrupted elephant, his fangs tearing through its cursed hide. The wolves darted between massive creatures, bringing them down with precision and ferocity. For a moment, hope returned. But Varunak was not finished. Raising his arms, he called upon the deepest shadows. The ground shattered. From the abyss, creatures of pure darkness crawled forth, beasts woven from living night, their eyes burning like dying stars. "You cannot kill what has no form," Varunak sneered. Nava met Raja's gaze, their bond rekindled. Not fully, but enough. "Then we won't kill them," she said. "We'll burn them away." Raja's golden eyes flashed in understanding. Nava raised her twin blades. Lightning crackled, fire roared. Together they struck. A wave of celestial power surged forward, engulfing the battlefield in light. The darkness screamed as it was consumed. Varunak's smirk faltered. Nava and Raja charged. Fire and fury made flesh. One strike, two strikes. The sky exploded with energy. Varunak let out a final piercing scream before his form crumbled into nothingness. The aftermath, the battle was won. But at a terrible cost. Many of Arjun's warriors lay still beneath the bloodied sky. Though victorious, the jungle had paid its price. As the first light of dawn crept over the land, Nava, Raja, and Arjun stood among the fallen. "This was only the beginning," Arjun murmured. Raja growled in agreement. Something darker was coming, and this time they would be ready. Then, the sound of approaching hooves. Nava turned as a group of exhausted riders emerged from the jungle, their banners foreign yet urgent. Their leader, cloaked in deep indigo, dismounted swiftly. "Princess Nava," he gasped, breathless from the journey. "We bring a message from the north, from Princess Among." Nava's grip on her twin blades tightened. "Speak." The messenger's expression was grim. "Tzurokho is coming for you. He seeks the amulet, and if he takes it, he will end you. And everything you protect." A cold wind swept through the battlefield. The war was not over. It was only beginning. To be continued.